Very good evening. Uh, every person has a story in their life. Every person has a success story as well as story of failures. But even more important is how they have bounced back from that situation and they have achieved great success in their life. So today I will be sharing a story of a young, charming and passionate girl, Manwa Pradhan, a person with an eloquent memory. She has completed her master's in computer science from UT Dallas, University of Texas at Dallas. And prior to this, she has completed her bachelor's in engineering from BPM, Vallabh Vidyanagar, Gujarat. By profession, she is a software engineer turned first generation entrepreneur. And currently, she is handling the most profitable startup at Hyderabad. She is very approachable and easy to talk kind of a person. Enjoy listening music, reading trivia, news, facts, scribbles, and play video games. So let me introduce today Manwa Pradhan, who is with us and she will be sharing her success story with us. So welcome Manwa. It's really nice seeing you back on this session after so many years. So let me start with a very simple question, and I'm sure this question must be there in mind of almost every student who is aspiring for successful career. So according to you, what is the definition of a successful career?
For me personally, since I was a child, it was instilled in me to get small successes, which will eventually lead to big successes. So when I was in school, it was about studies, but then my mother also forced me to go into dancing, into karate, into quizzes, into sports, athletics, chess, everything imaginable. So she wanted me to become a good team sport person also, but she also wanted me to have discipline in myself. She also wanted me to have patience that's required in chess and etc. So it was small successes which I built up to becoming a big success. Because if today I wake up and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be this or that, but then I need to work towards it. So since I was like 15, 16, I knew that I wanted to go to US to study because they have great research options and everything. So I set that goal. But to go to that goal, I set up small stepping stones for myself, and that's how I define success. Like you need small stepping stones, you need to do those things, work hard to become like like a success. Whatever it's your definition at the end of the day, but that's my definition.
So that's true. In fact, first of all, success doesn't come overnight, and success
True,
doesn't
so
come
true.
in wholesome package. There are so
Yeah,
many things that are contributing towards your success. Okay, so it's not only academics; it's beyond academics. Okay,
of course.
so
It
sometimes
can be true.
yeah, yeah. Continue. You wanted to say
No,
something.
no, I was saying academics belong to like 20%, and if you are like extremely like 100%, even then, it only contributes, it just opens the door for you, it doesn't get you through the door. So going through the door requires an extra push, which comes from your co-curriculars.
Okay. Manwa, actually, I wanted to ask you a very serial kind of question in connection to the question which I asked you. But the
Yeah.
point which you brought in, okay, that tempted me to ask you a question which is slightly different from my structured questionnaire. Okay, and
Sure.
this question is when we are talking about successful career, and within that successful career we are uh, we are emphasizing on education, on playing games, doing certain activities, or you can
Mm-hmm.
say developing certain hobbies So everything is contributing some specific skill and competencies which can
Of
help us
course.
to,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But before that, before you actually start putting your efforts into a specific direction,
Mhm.
how important it is for a student to groom psychologically to get ready for putting efforts in that direction.
Um, so it actually usually I don't know about other students, but personally for me it was my parents. So my mother instilled in me from very beginning that you cannot sit idly. You have 1 hour. What can you do in that 1 hour? Learn something. You can practice something what you already know, or give exams on the things that you think you are master on. These are the three options I had since beginning. Also, her thing was that if she spends time on me teaching me patience, I'm gonna get annoyed and I'm gonna hate her for the rest of my life. Like, just don't talk to me right now. But what she did instead is that she put me in things that engaged my brain, intellect, and challenged me a lot. So it actually comes out like, we call jugalbandi, a cooperation between both the child and the parent. Like my mom would be like, oh, I don't think you can do this, I don't think you have that caliber, and then I would be like, why not, watch me do it. And then I used to just do it, like in
So,
10th
so
standard.
you mean to say that she was balancing between motivating you and challenging you.
Yes, but she didn't challenge me in a way that, oh, I don't think you can ever do it. Just sit at home and, just be like that and this and that. Nor did she was like, okay, fine, you're not listening to me, just watch TV. I don't care. She wasn't like that. Even my dad, he used to be like, oh, you don't think you can do this? Just try one more time. Give it 2 more days, maybe 5 more days. If you don't think you can do it even after 5 days, we can try something else. It was never an option to like, oh, quit it. It was not an option to quit it without trying. So, like in 10th standard, I wanted to do sports, I wanted to do dance, I wanted to do athletics, I wanted to do painting, I wanted to do school dances, I wanted to plan my whole annual function, which I actually did in 10th standard. And my mom would be like, you study. My dad was like, you study, you don't study this and that. And I was like, Mom, how much do you want? Like, you want what 90%? She's like, no, no, I need 95 at least. I'm like, you want 95? I'll get you 95. Just let me do what I want. So, like, I could see her concern, but I knew in that I could do it. So, till February, I was like out doing my activities, and then I got 100 on 100 in everything except English, maybe. Yeah, 98 or something. So, I was that kind of a child. Like, even I remember my earliest memories, maybe 4 year, maybe 3 year old. My mom used to read a lot. So I used to imitate her and read. I used to not understand a single thing. I used to hold the book upside down, but I used to imitate her. And imitation became an interest. And I started reading voraciously. So that's what I want to tell you. The skill you were talking about that you develop, it is not something you develop overnight. For me, my parents, even my brothers, we whole everybody as a family were like that. So we copied our parents and then we started developing on it.
So that's really good to know that in this grooming process, grooming for achieving success has been largely contributed not alone by you, but it is the entire family who has contributed
Yes.
behind your.
Yes. Yes.
See, very often, and in a counseling section, I have been telling parents that if you really want to achieve a greater success, which if you wish your child to achieve greater success, you have to create that ecosystem.
You
But
have to.
so exactly, I could understand this small example that
Mhm.
how you can build that ecosystem. It is not always a guidance, but it is a motivation. Sometimes maybe as very silent challenges. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe okay, everything is contributing towards success.
Yeah,
Okay, so
definitely.
let me ask you. Um, you know, something which is related to uh, same subject is that
Mm.
success, as we are discussing, success means currently we are talking about the career, okay, success in career or successful career. I think one is academic education, or you can say the academic contributions, the hobbies, the other activities which you are doing. Second,
Yes.
which you say is the ecosystem which grew the entire family, which groomed you for achieving the or prepared you for achieving the success. Okay. The
Mm-hmm.
third thing, okay, how much, what importance you can give to planned education or education planning to be successful in career.
Mm, so see, we can look at it two ways. First way, you plan everything, everything goes according to the plan, and you achieve something. You plan everything, something doesn't go your way, but you take a detour, work harder than you planned to work hard, and then achieve your success. There are two ways. So in my case, luckily, I didn't have to take a detour. But in my own family, my own sibling, he had to take a detour. But he reached where he want to go. So I have both the stories in house and I have both the journeys in house. Both had the same ecosystem. Both were assigned tasks. You have to set the table. One was assigned to clean the table. One was assigned to clean the hall. One was assigned to water the plant. One was assigned to clean the laundry, etc. All three of us had each and every task the whole day to do, but at the same time we had time to do our activities, studies, everything. So all three of us were brought equally, but still one had to take a detour. It was unfortunate because of COVID and everything, he had to take a detour. That's a secondary thing. But I have both the stories in house. So what you're asking, that planned planned education, you always need a plan B. For me, my plan B was I didn't give gate. Masters was my only choice, but my backup was I had a proper solid offer letter from a company already, a good package in India itself, Powai. So my backup was that. So however much you plan, however much you do whatever, you are gonna need a plan B, but your plan should be there, because without plan you don't know, you are like a rudderless boat just going around in the ocean, just like no aim whatsoever, nothing. So like you need to think, okay, I'm gonna do my 10th. After that, if I'm thinking to become maybe a computer engineer, then you read mathematics. If you want to become a biologist, you need to take maths. If you want to do marine science, you need to take biology. Maybe you can go via the arts route and then take science. It's your wish. Like, if it's not wrong to take an easy path, but it's wrong to take an unplanned path. That's what I
So,
feel.
no, no, I completely agree, and that's why I'm repeating my question once again.
Mm.
That question will be slightly in a different format. Presume a
Okay.
situation, presume a situation that your entire education was planned, situation number one, and you achieved success. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could have just, जिसको कहते हैं ना, आप पढ़ना शुरू करो without planning, without having the
Mm.
plan in place, you just keep studying, studying and studying. तो आज की सिचुएशन में आपकी सक्सेस कितनी होती? एक है
कुछ भी
सिचुएशन
नहीं।
जहां पर आपने सब कुछ प्लान करके आपने काम
नहीं
किया, और
नहीं
दूसरा अनप्लान।
Actually, I mean, just to answer your question and for hypothesizing it, uh, like hypothesis sake, I would say that I would be nowhere, because I wouldn't, if there's no plan, I wouldn't know what to take, maths or science in the first place. Even if I take arts or commerce in the first place, what do I do? I'm stuck at my age 16 now. I'm 28. I'm stuck at 16 had there been no plan. Okay, now imagine I just take one blindly. I would have failed at it. And what would I have done after that? I mean, I would have taken like a menial bachelor something, the easy path, and I would have just like become something. in a job, like working on a job. I'm not prejudicing against people who are working 9 to 5 jobs, but I would not be here 100%. And also, you wouldn't believe my teachers at fifth standard, like I didn't understand the word management, but my teachers used to ask my mother, me, like, what's Manwa's schedule like what is her secret of time management, because I was at 15 to 20 places in one day, and my teachers used to be boggled that how is she doing this. And that continued till the age of, oh sorry, standard 12, age of 18. Like even in 12th standard, I was playing state kabaddi. I was playing. Maybe I went to national Panchgini to play shot put and discus throw. So it wasn't like I didn't have time. No, everybody has 24 hours. So you have to plan your 24 hours first. Then you plan your week. Then you plan your month. Then you plan like a long successes. Also, I was a planner since very long. I used to love check boxes. I used to make little squares, and I used to be like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m. 10 p.m. also I used to write sleep time, night. I used to be that kind of a girl. I used to have charts on my, like, this cupboards, and like a small bulletin board on my desk, and I used to be that person. So when you tell me unplanned, it doesn't even click me. So even today, I wake up, I'm like, okay, 9 a.m. breakfast, 10 p.m. my office starts. I have a meeting this, then I'm gonna make 1:30. I'll go to make lunch. 2 o'clock lunch will be done. Then I'll eat and this and that. Like my day is planned. So when you tell me that, oh, can we accommodate this? I'm like, sorry, no. I have something planned. I don't have a free slot. So that's how I am, and that's how I think you find time in your schedule. If you know, oh, 2 hours I'm gonna read a book, then I have a time 3 to 4. I can do something in 3 to 4, and that's how you find time to do that extra thing. So even like I have a messy cupboard right now, so I have planned it for like Saturday. Okay, Saturday, 1 to 2, I have time. I'm gonna set my cupboard. So that's how it
No,
goes.
I fully agree. I fully agree, and I must appreciate that we are talking about planning, or you can say the plan word we are using very loosely. But it is all
Right.
about observing the discipline to achieve something which is desired to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more important. Means planning is all about observing the discipline. Okay, and
Yeah.
without discipline,
You
it will be a success.
true, 100%. 100%. So you might be providing some plans to everybody, right? But if like you are planning, you are putting in your efforts to plan, you are actually the, like, sometimes people don't know how to do it, so we help them to make plans, we organize things for them. Like for my employees, what I do is I create a schedule for them for the whole 15 days, and then I'll explain that in the later part of our interview, but that's how we work in the office. So you make plans, you are doing that effort for them, but if they don't follow it, then it's just words on the paper. It's not
True.
gonna bring out results.
So Manwa, this also prompts me to understand that during your engineering in India, you studied you did your graduation, is I would say undergrad program from BVM, Vallabh Vidyanand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to know that which type of challenges did you face during your undergrad program? Okay, and how did you overcome from those challenges?
First challenge was I was from CBSE board, and the
Hmm.
people that were there in my class were from all over. They were like people who were from like uh, different socio-economic backgrounds, basically, and differently abled people as well. So communication sometimes was an issue because I used to think in English. Like even today I think in English. If I'm arguing with my husband, mother, father, whoever, I'm gonna argue in English first, and the first words of me are gonna be in English. So Since the beginning, I remember maybe third standard, second standard, I used to think in English. So that was one of the things, and that used to be perceived by them differently. This was the first thing. Communication, a little gap was there in the very first month or 2 month maybe. Then they knew how I am, so that was fine later on. Second issue was I used to stay in a hostel. So if I have to do any activity after 7 p.m., it wasn't an option. So my day and my activities, which in Baroda I could do it in 24 hours, if you remove 8 hours of sleep, 16 hours, I had very limited time when I was in hostel. So I had to do everything in those 8 hours of college. Third thing is the engineering syllabus is a lot, a lot. Like they give you so much to study in 6 months that you are overloaded 100%. So assignments, project, this, that, teamwork. Sometimes the teams used to be so unbalanced, people used to not work, I have to carry them. Or sometimes it used to be like they used to not do their part and I had to do it like right at the last moment. So those are like the things that happen in college always. So those were my challenges in bachelor. Also, I didn't have any mode of transport. Like I had to walk everywhere. If I have to even get a chart paper, even if I have to get like a pen, even if I have to get any small thing, I have to walk like wherever it is. So those are the very minute things we don't think about. If I'm hungry at midnight, then I have to manage food somehow, dry snacks or whatever. Maggie was the best friend we had. So nobody thinks that when you're at home, your mom's gonna give it to you. My mom has brought me coffee so many times at night when I'm studying late. But you don't have those luxuries outside. Like you have to clean your own things. You have to make like my routine had activities. Now it has like an hour of cleaning somewhere, an hour of like making my bed, cooking food. Also, it has an hour of walking. It has like an half hour somewhere that I have to get this, I have to get that. So I have to compromise a lot on my time, but that means that in that 1 hour I have to do 2 hours of work because I have to get that work done anyway because it's my goal for the day. So planning becomes an even more urgent in the later stages of your life because if you don't do that right now, you kids like maybe focused on education, masters, everything. I'm at a later stage in life right now. I don't get to spend time with my family if I don't plan my day. Like I'll be in front of a laptop for 24 hours, and my mom and dad and my husband will be like, "Oh, where is she? Like you're emerging out of the room 3 days later, and we don't recognize you anymore. Have you even showered or what?" So planning becomes utmost important in the later stages of life, but it becomes difficult to do so if you don't do it from the right beginning.
True, true.
And you will be like,
So
"Oh, nobody's eating roti. Why? Because she didn't make it. Like she's working."
that's really good. But when you moved from India and you went to, US, I think there was a pleasant or maybe unpleasant, jerk in the cultural differences.
The
Right?
cultural shock is huge, huge, mega. Nobody preps you for that, and I would like to tell kids to, or maybe you're not kids anymore, you're like young adults kind of an age. But yeah, you guys don't know the plethora of information you have right now in the abundance of help you have right now. Like you go on a website and you know where you're gonna stay, how you're gonna be, what's the rent, this, that. The payment portals are much more easier and convenient because of COVID now. Everything has become very seamless and online. But in my case, it wasn't. It was hell. It was very bad. Like the first week that I just landed and I went to the apartment that I had previously rented, we spent 3 days just to rent an apartment
Oh,
because we used to call her the landlord lady overnight because it's her day. She only operates 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I have to stay up late, talk to her. Then she's gonna be like, you have to do an international credit card transfer only, with only Visa and MasterCard to be accepted. And you have to pay like 3 months of rent at the same time. Imagine the rent being $2,100, I think, and for 3 months. So that becomes 6,300 I have to pay at once. No credit card limit's gonna be like that. I have to split it in two cards. So I have to pay today Then in the morning when the bank opens, I have to pay my credit card. Then my balance recharges after 4 p.m. The next day I pay the rest balance. My credit card recharges again, and then I pay it on the third night. That's how I had to do my payments. And I have three
Oh,
different receipts which I have to print because she wouldn't take a digital copy when I arrived. Oh my god, it was such a mess. So this is just rent. I went, there's no electricity. Why is there no electricity? I talked to the landlady. She's like, oh, you have to book it prior to coming. I'm like, what are you saying? You couldn't have told me like 1 month. No, we booked our apartment 1 month back, I think. So she's like, I thought you knew. I'm like, oh my god. So I had to get the electricity, and they are like, oh, our business day just ended, so we are gonna do it the next day. I'm like, oh dear lord. So the next day we have to wait one whole day to get electricity. We didn't have
oh,
we had Yeah, we had to wait 1 day to get electricity, and we could use limited electricity, but that was charged exorbitantly. And when I say exorbitantly, it was very high. Like we paid almost 15 times more than the rate which is set by the government, because we
oh,
were using private electricity of the community that we were staying at. And we had to use Wi-Fi from the common office that was there, leasing office, which only operates 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So after 6 p.m., no communication with the family. So even my father and my brothers had to wake up early or sleep late to talk to us. So the first week was such a mess because I didn't know any of this, and I didn't have friends who were already situated in the US when I was going to US. So the electricity, then there is another channel for getting water, there is another channel for getting a Wi-Fi, there's another channel for getting the gas which lights your gas and stuff. There is another channel to get your trash picked up because there's no beans. And these are the things, like our washer dryer was not there in the apartment. They were like, oh, we'll get it after 1 week. So we had to walk so much, picking up our laundry, do it somewhere, and then bring back the laundry. So these are not the things that people are aware of, but you need to know that this is very basic life sciences which nobody tells you about. You cannot be like, oh, I'm gonna land and everybody's gonna give me a job and I'm gonna be rich. It's not that way. It's
true.
definitely the glitz and glamours is there, but you need to show the money to do that. You need to have money first. You need to earn first to get those things. So yeah, like value your resources, value your networks, value the help that you're getting, read a lot, be aware, make friends, socialize, but also, you should always be like trust but verify kind of people. So when somebody says, oh, that's gonna be like that, then you need to verify what they are saying is true, then do it. Otherwise you get scammed a lot as well. So trust your sources before just blindly doing anything.
But this is this one part. It's actually a part of the logistic hassles which
Yeah.
came across. What about your education? Means
Mm,
we I understand that the education system in India and education system abroad is
and
hugely
different.
different. Okay,
Vast difference. Yeah.
how did you I would say transit from one education system to another system, and for that how did you transform yourself? Okay.
Okay, so let me start by differentiating between the education systems. So in India, when you start, you pay your fees, right? You get a core curriculum. You're gonna be like, this semester, these are the 8 subjects that you're gonna study. These three might be elective. You can select any two out of it, and then you are given that, oh, this subject has these books, these books, these books, and all the subjects have some reference books that you have to read. And then as the semester starts, you have assignments, you have projects, and then you have exam. And all the projects assignments have some weightage, and then there is an exam that contains a large weightage. This is India. In the college that I went to, the first semester there were 4 core courses. Out of those 4 core courses, you had 20 subjects that you would select from. So you have to select out of 20 subjects, 4 subjects that you're gonna study. Okay. And you decide the curriculum of it. Like if you choose to select some core subjects, you become on an information science track. If you select some subjects, you become data management kind of a track. If you select some core subjects, you're going to get onto data science track, artificial intelligence track, etc, etc. So your core subjects selection defined your major right from the beginning. There's no study everything first semester and keep on studying everything till the last semester. No. When you go right out of the gate, you are like segregated into your subject. First thing. Then you have like 50 to 60 elective subjects, out of which again you have to select 4 subjects. And you might want to study everything and you get greedy, but then you don't know what's coming to you, because what our system was, we had weekly assignments which needed to be submitted in 2 days, and
Oh,
we had no reference books. Teacher came in the class, taught us the concept. He only taught us the concept. He wrote the word statistical analysis. He'll explain to us what is statistical analysis and what all I think is important in statistical analysis. And you are now open into the world, and whatever is related to statistical analysis is your curriculum. It
oh,
can be anything. The world is your oyster. So that is how it is for all the subjects. So every week he asks a question. He asks us to write 50 words essay. Then there are some mathematical issues that we have to correspond to, and each mathematical question, even a mathematical question, might have 10 to 12 answers, because I was into data science track and it's a lot of probability and a lot of assumptions. So if there are any assumptions, you have to assume everything. So you need to know a concept properly. You don't need to learn the definition. So when they ask us anything, we need to know the whole thing and your viewpoint 100%. They don't be like that this is the right answer. They have 50 to 60 right answers. If you do any one of them, you get full credit. So every week's assignment carried more marks than the actual exam. The actual exam used to be 20%, but the assignments used to be 40%. And then we had a like a big project for one project for the whole semester, which whose progress you have to show to the TA, the teaching assistant, every couple of days, like maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So you were constantly on your feet. You're thinking. Basically, they want to promote thinking. They don't want mechanical robots. They want you to explore a lot. They want you to explore a lot in the subject. Like if you say data mining is so much, but they want you to kind of get your own definition of data mining. I'll give you a definition, it's in every book. There are 50, 60, 100 books on data mining. All of them have different definitions. But what definition do you relate to best? So even in exam, as I mentioned earlier, so they have like a bunch of correct answers. You can answer any one of them. They are just wanting to see that your concepts are good for real life. Your concepts need not be good for exams. Even their questions are such. They don't ask
okay.
you factual questions, they don't ask you things that you can easily Google. What they ask you is actually like you put your brain power behind it. Like there's a term called dynamic programming that we have. So they are going to put dynamic programming somewhere in the real world. For example, scheduling meetings, and then dynamic programming. Scheduling meeting is very trivial thing, and then dynamic. They ask you to mix it. How are you going to do that? And then it has so many answers. So you have to understand the concept. I would repeat this again and again and again, but yeah.
But again, this prompts another question in my mind, that
Yeah, sure.
In India, We have academic curriculum, means our curriculum is highly academic oriented and not so industrial oriented. Number one, right?
Yeah.
Com- Compared to what international universities are teaching today. Okay,
Mhm.
their curriculums have been prompted, or you can say, coming out from the industry's requirement. So they are highly research based, right? Where you, as you said, they teach you only concept and rest everything you have to conquer the world, right? Now in this situation, as in India, our entire academic is based on the rote learning. Okay,
Yes.
because I'm using this
Memorizing.
word rote because for us in India, students are having more, they are giving more importance to the numbers, or you can say the grades which they achieve, rather than focusing on the learning part. So now in this situation, when Indian students moving from rote learning to the concept learning, which type of challenges they are facing, number one, and what is the way out of it? What advice would you like to give to them?
Okay, so I would just like to add one thing before I say my answer. Is in India, because of rote memorization, we are producing students who are very smart, intelligent, and everything, but they have to go through training period of at least 6 months to 1 year before they actually start earning. So all the companies that hire you right out of the gate in placements in bachelors give you 6 months to 1 year of stipulation time period. In that 6 months, they test you on all the subjects that you studied in your bachelors. First of all, second of all, you have to give exams, and that exam decides your level or salary after that 1 year. And in that 6 months to 1 year, you can be terminated if you do not have proper industrial knowledge or if you don't learn industrial knowledge fast enough. So that is how it happens in India. Also, some of the colleges have started something known as bridge course, which bridges the gap between your college studies and industrial studies. But that is also not enough because you cannot teach 4 years of industrial training in 6 months or 1 year or 4 months. You need to do it right out of the gate. You need to do it right as they are they're clay, right as you're starting to mold them. Before you bake them, you have to mold them properly before baking. You cannot just bake and then imagine, oh, let me mold it now. No, you cannot do that. So that what happens in India, and I've seen and gone through it. But there, what happens is the studies that I mentioned and whatever studies I mentioned right now is something which is just half of it. After doing all of those things, you have to participate in cultural activities. I was in international student society. I was in the career department. I was also in event management and community planning. So we have to be participant because if you're not seen, you cannot network or socialize, and if you don't do that, there are very less chances of you going into the industry. And as I was saying, the idea of concept, the thing is, when your concepts are strong, learning, I only know computer science, so I can only talk in computer science. Learning any language is a matter of half an hour, 1 hour. Because my concepts are strong right now, give me any computer language. By the end of the day, I can write a seamless program for you with the best software techniques because my concepts are strong, right? I know what is dynamic programming. I know what is threading. I know what is crude methods. I know all of basic, acidic, all properties I know. So you just give me a documentation of a language. That's it for me. I am sorted. I can give you whatever you want. So that's how they want it to be, because when you are graduating or sitting for placements, they don't want to limit you by language. Oh, I only know C++, I only know Java. Because in India, they teach you Java, they teach you C++, they teach you everything, Python and etc. But they don't teach you the concept. But in US, I know the concept. So now I can learn any language I want. So that is how they are gapping the industrial bridge.
Yeah,
And
but
also,
that question is still
yeah,
unanswered.
yeah, it's
How Indian students are, what
I
would you
was
like to suggest? them to move
Yeah,
from the rote learning to concept learning?
I was getting to that. So the curriculum that has been designed over there at my university where I studied, the industrialists are planning the curriculum. So what happens is they decide what we want from the student. This is the thing that they should learn, and when they come to my company, they should know this. So when you know that, your confidence increases internally, that okay, whatever I'm going to learn is not going to go to waste. In India, when we learn, we are like, oh, when am I going to use a frog's anatomy? When I'm going to use this or that? Like, I'm still waiting for my Newton's laws' knowledge to kick in, but I've never used it. So that's what I'm saying. Over there, I have confidence in me that, oh, if I'm studying dynamic, my job is gonna have dynamic programming and I'm gonna do wonders. So that itself is a huge confident boost that whatever you're studying is not a waste, first of all. Second of all, moving from rote memorization to this conceptual learning, what you have to do is be very rigorous in note making. If the professor says a word, or professor says a word, you write the date on the top, lecture time on the top, and then you just write words. Keep on, don't write sentences, write words. If he says analysis, write analysis. If he says statistics, write, just write words, big words. Then when you have a hierarchy of words, that oh, he said statistics, then he said analysis, then he said probability, then he said Gauss theorem, then he said Gauss law, then he said Gauss this. And now when you go home, you can go to your college website, search your curriculum, and you will 100% have a library. You will have all the books that are related to all of this stuff. And professors usually tell you, like, they give you a list of like 20 to 30 books. You don't have to learn all the 20 to 30 books. No. You don't have to go to 20 to 30 books, but you can just browse through books and see which one is clicking with you, which book is clicking with your intellect or your level. Some books are very high level, some books are very beginner level. So whichever book clicks with you, start learning with that. And if that concept is speaking to you, or if that whatever that author is talking about is clicking with you, you can, based on that author, you can refer other books if you want. So you have to be very rigorous note taker, first of all. This life skill is gonna save your life forever. Forever, I'm telling you. And when you go home, simple Google can give you a lot of answers, man. Like, you can get so much online. There's Google Scholar. If you go there, you're gonna find a lot of research paper. Find very old research papers, usually like 2000s, so that you find very lame language words. Latest research papers are very heavy and usually not your, like, not your level, not your help. They are not going to help you understand concept. Go for the older ones. They are very lame worded, they are very soft kind of conceptual training for you, so you can do that. So I myself was a book person, so I used to refer books. And by the end of my fourth semester, I was at a good level with the books. So you have to begin somewhere. It's like a trial and error method. You open a book, you start reading, you won't understand. Go to other book. Okay, you don't understand. At least the fifth book will kick in, right? Nobody, like, everybody has a brain which will kick in eventually after the fourth or the fifth book. But note taking is important. If you miss a word, then what's gonna happen is you're gonna be like, how did he go from statistics to God's laws? How? You missed a lot of words in the middle. So note taking is a good habit that you can have. And I'm very sure if you don't understand anything, you are just gonna go on your phone, type that word, and you're gonna have so much information. Just go for information that has good citations, or citations which are reference paper or research paper backed. Then your knowledge is not wasted. Also, if you write those things in exam, and if the professor doesn't give you marks, you can be like, no, I read it in this research paper by this person, you can check it yourself. And then that person has to give you marks. Okay, so that helps you authenticate your brain, authenticate your thoughts, and give you confidence that what you are studying has been has like a solid science behind it. It's not you're just pulling anything out of thin air.
Okay, so if we really look at uh, a human psychology, which always
Hmm.
tends towards taking the shortcuts, okay,
Hmm.
be it in education, be it in profession or wherever, or maybe in
Hmm.
social context also, we humans are tend to take shortcuts. So on one side, when there is a lot of transition and transformation is needed for Indian
Hmm.
students who are going abroad for higher studies, okay,
Hmm.
the methods which you just mentioned, which needs a lot of listening skill, observation skill, okay, note taking skill, and then after that, research basically, right? Now in this situation, how this current
Short.
chat GPT is going to impact or influence this part.
Um, ChatGPT, like my husband works on it. So he's in Microsoft, so he works on ChatGPT. So it's good in one way, but the thing is, it's dumb. It's really dumb. Like I have a conversation with ChatGPT that what websites I can use pirated music from. Then it's gonna be like, oh, it's illegal. You cannot do this, everything. And then I'm like, oh, okay, good, nice. Oh, so tell me how to not pirate so it's illegal. Tell me what website to not go on. And it's gonna give me all the answers that these are the places where you don't should not go to. I'm like, wow, you are so dumb. Like, how?
So you mean to say using ChatGPT and artificial intelligent platform, you need to be even more smarter than the ChatGPT.
Yeah. So if you ask ChatGPT a question and if you frame
Hmm.
even one word wrong, you are gonna get a very wrong answer.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so just for note, sir asked me to give my introduction. What I did, I went to ChatGPT and I'm like, "Give me an introduction, dude," and it gave me an introduction, and I looked like I was conquering the world. I was owner of Alphabet, Microsoft, everywhere, and I'm like, not me. So it made me very glorious, which I'm not. I mean, I'm not like glorious at all. So I'm like, oh, that's so dumb. I'm like, I like to, as I said, I have a challenging nature. So I was challenging ChatGPT in my head at that particular point. So you can use ChatGPT, it's very good. But for facts, who wrote this
Hmm.
book? Oh, what does this book say? If you want to use ChatGPT, use it for this. You have 20 books that your professor told you to read. Ask the synopsis of the book, man. What level is this book? How beginner friendly is it? Is it good enough for a 20-year-old who knows only C++ or who just knows Java? Do you think this is good enough for me? You ask that questions, use it intelligently. You have a wonderful resource. If you use it negatively, what's gonna happen? You're it's like a knot, like a lot of threads which get entangled. You pull it. Suddenly, someday there's gonna be a huge knot in the middle, and you're gonna be left with a very ugly thread.
True. True.
So you
You mean
can
to say
escape
you mean to say that um, using ChatGPT needs a lot of good questioning technique skill as well.
it.
You should ask
You
the right
need
question.
exactly. I agree with that. Yeah. You should know how to ask questions. You should know how to frame your questions to get the answers. If you say, when was World War? It's not going to give you correct answer. It's going to give you 1914, but you don't know. It's World War 1, 2, 3. Not 3, sorry, 1 or 2. Correct. You need to ask it properly. When was World War 1? World War 1 was across so many years. You have to ask it, when was it in this place? Or when did it actually start? Or what event triggered it? Or else it's gonna give you wrong answers. Then you're gonna give wrong answers in exams, and then you're gonna get bad marks, and then you're gonna be like, "What did I do wrong?" But you did wrong here, darling. You were wrong over here. You asked the wrong question.
So, Manwa, I have before we conclude our discussion today, I have three questions for you, and I wish you can give the rapid fire answer for them. Okay.
Done.
Uh, what advice would you like to give it to the students who are aspiring for either of these two things? One, either they are aspiring for the global career or maybe global education. What advice would you like to give it to them?
Be strong, be consistent, slow and steady wins the race, and there's no shortcut to hard work.
Okay. And the similar thing, similar question, what advice would you like to give it to the parents who want their children to be in international arena? What advice would you like to give them?
Be strong, be patient. Your money is gonna be worth a little later, but it's gonna be good. And also try to not push your child, because your child is facing a lot of things already. The child is worried about the income that you have spent on that child. He doesn't want to burden you a lot, but you cannot burden him any further. He's gonna break, she's gonna break. So you have to. So when I'm telling the child to be strong and consistent, I'm telling the parents to be strong and patient.
Good. And on the last question, I would like to listen something, or rather, my audience would be more interested to understand your journey from student to an entrepreneur. Okay, and your achievement there also.
I have been a student since I was 2 years old till the age of 18, 22. So I only knew how to study. So after I was in college, I did a lot of internships, which made me understand that, oh, if I can earn this much after doing internships and learn a lot of industry, maybe I can handle job and I don't need to go for PhD. Let me get some experience around. So I went ahead and got a job, got experience. I worked under very nice people who were really very smart actually. Like, I used to think I'm the smartest, and I've always been the smartest till 22. But then when I went into industry, I'm like, oh, there are people smarter than me. That's the first. So I learned a lot of skills over there. But then what happened is I earned a lot of money, and I was like, I could actually give it back to my country. I can hire people. I have the potential to manage people, and also I didn't like being told what to do, so I came back. I started my own venture over here. It was difficult at first because I didn't know Indian laws. Because right when I started understanding laws, I was in US, so I knew US laws, US finance. I knew everything American. I didn't know anything Indian, which is, I'm very sorry to say, but I had to learn a lot, and I'm still learning. It's been 2 years since my business, and I'm still learning. So I came here, I hired people with less experience because nobody hired me when I had less experience. And when they hired me, they used to pay me peanuts. And I'm like, I'm smarter than that. I don't deserve peanuts. So ask more, whatever is your right. You have the right to ask for more money always, anytime. So I came here, I hired people, and I have a routine with them now. 15-day planning, I have a day planning. They have to follow it. If they don't, I ask them why, first of all, and then we replan everything. So I have started hiring people over here. I manage my Indian team, I manage my Japan team, American team. Now we have a new team in Dallas, so that's interesting. We have a new team in Pune as well. So I do that, a lot of management, but I also find time to code because I love coding. I'm a nerd like that. So yeah, it's been great. It's been 2 years. We reached our six six figure profit last year. We reached 7 figure profit this year. So we are aiming for 8 figures next year. Let's see.
Sure. In fact, I must say Tathastu. Okay, your
Thank you.
dreams will definitely come true. Right. So, Manoa, it was really great interaction with you, and I'm sure that your inputs as a student, as an entrepreneur, will definitely add value to the students who are aspiring for global career and global education. At the
Of
same point
course.
of time, at the same point of time, the basic, the small example which you shared about, the kind of challenges you faced and how did you overcome. um, Unfortunately, we overlook, as a parent also, we overlook those things when we are planning the larger things in our life. Okay, so the important, helping us for understanding the importance of macro management as well as the micro management. Okay,
Yeah.
and I must say, you are going to earn a lot of blessings from the parents, the students in time to come. So thank you
Thank
very much
you.
for being with us. God bless you.
Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was great interacting with you. You actually took me back a lot of years when I actually started my journey, and you made me think about all of those memories again fondly. And some were like, oh my god, I struggled a lot and all those things. But it was really sweet of you. Also, I would like to tell all the students, if you have any questions, help, guidance whatsoever, sir is there for you. If not, you can get my contact from him. I would be happy to talk to you. And yeah, I'm there for your help if you need any.
So nice of you. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you. Bye.